Hi, welcome to Kelly Talks. My name is Kelly Lorraine, and I'm here to talk to you about all things spirituality. Now, on today's Kelly Talks, we're going to talk about angel numbers. Now, this is a bit of a controversial topic, so please bear with me. The reason I say controversial is because angel numbers could mean anything. I mean, how many of you have ever tried to Google an angel number and seen a million different hits that could tell you every aspect of that number? Life, career, love. Sometimes it can actually be very overwhelming. I think one of the tough questions about angel numbers is who invented these meanings? Like, where did they come from? And we're never going to know that answer. But let me give you some thoughts about angel numbers from my perspective. I think they're there to show us the direction in which we're going. They're telling us we're on the right track. But at the same time, they're also testing us. Now, you might be saying, how could they be testing me? Well, it all depends on your perspective. If you're seeing angel numbers as a general rule or as a general indicator of where you're headed, I think that's very positive. But if we're using angel numbers to confirm a specific person or situation in our life, I think that's when we are walking a fine line with being pulled backwards or being pulled forwards. This begs me to ask the question, are you in the old or are you in the new? Now you might be thinking, what does that even mean? Well, old energy, when you continue it, it brings more of that same old, same old. New energy ultimately is going to bring you new experience and changes. So Kelly of yesteryear would do this, that, or whatever. Kelly of today would not. And if I want different, I have to do different. So when I see signs, synchronicities, angel numbers, signs, whatever you want to call them, this is when I say to myself, okay, Kelly, are you in the old? Are you in the new? Okay, let me give you an example. Let's assume you're out driving in your car and you see a license plate with a specific person's birthday on it. What's the first thought that you have? I'll give you a second. Think about it. Write it in the comments if you feel comfortable. But essentially, I'm going to bet you that you're thinking, oh my goodness, this person is thinking about me. This is my person. See, this sign, this synchronicity says they're the one. Now, I understand the feeling because I used to do the same thing myself. I also still get those signs, synchronicities, and angel numbers when I'm driving in my car, even today, many years later. But that doesn't mean that that person is currently in my life. It means, for me anyways, that when I'm moving myself forward and living my life, I'm going to get tests. I'm going to get reminders of where I used to be. Now, I could let myself fall backwards into that old energy, reminisce about old times, go into the highlight reel. But now when I get those signs or synchronicities or angel numbers, I simply just say, thank you. I kind of giggle or I laugh, I have a moment, and I completely move myself forward because I know that if I go back into that old energy, it's going to pull me backwards. And for me personally, I would rather be in the new energy. I would rather experience new things that are actually better for me than what I was feeling back in those days. One of the reasons why I'm spontaneously filming this video today is because I had two sessions earlier in the day on Zoom where two people individually expressed that they were feeling these signs and synchronicities and they weren't sure whether or not they were manifesting them or if they were truly signs or synchronicities. And that's a very tough question because I think that we can make anything fit. That's why with tarot card readings or psychic readings, they say, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Don't try to force anything or try to make anything fit. Now, I'm reminded of my earlier days when I started doing this professionally and people would tell me about the signs that they were asking for. Now, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit on this, but think about it. If I say, show me a white van that so-and-so is my person, well, guess what? You're going to see a million white vans, okay? So in other words, you're going to get your sign. And therefore, are you truly getting the sign or synchronicity naturally, in general? Or are you manifesting it to happen? Or are you looking to make that sign appear? Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for signs. Don't misunderstand me. But I would be mindful of how you're asking for that sign or how much energy you're putting into a specific person or a specific situation. Like with oracle cards, for example, or tarot cards for that matter, one general way that we can ask for something is to say, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know about this connection? But if we're saying, show me this if someone loves me, show me this if they're my person, my twin flame, my soulmate, my whatever. You know, I think that means we're putting our energy into someone else versus ourselves. My view of spirituality and growth is that we need to put the energy into ourselves and to fill our own cup. Now, by the way, somebody did ask me, do I really have coffee in my cup? And yes, I do. I just get talking and sometimes I forget to take a sip. But back to what I was saying, you've got to put the energy into you. And your intentions should be pure about your growth and evolution. I want to remind you, you cannot fool the universe. You cannot say, well, I'm detaching or doing this so somebody comes back to me, because ultimately you're doing it to have an attachment or to have somebody return to you. If your intention is to say, you know what, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to leave something behind and see what happens and trust the process, you're more than likely to get what you're looking for. Here's a thought. When do you most see signs, synchronicities, angel numbers regarding a specific person? I'm going to answer that it's you making moves in your life, doing something different or moving on or meeting somebody else. All of a sudden, this is when you get an angel number. This is when you see their name written on a truck. This is when maybe you think of them and you see them pop up on social media, whatever it is. All of a sudden, you start getting bombarded with things that really test you. Now, I've been in situations before where I was moving on, things were good, and then next thing you know, somebody shows up on my doorstep. Literally, that's another story for another day. But really, this is where we're really getting to know ourselves, our strength, and whether or not we're willing to maintain our boundaries. Now, if you want to go back into the old energy and you want to go another round, all power to you. I support you no matter what you do. I completely understand it because I've been there and I've done that. Sometimes we do have to learn from experience. At the same time, though, we do have to recognize that at a certain point, we can't keep going round and round and round and round. And sometimes people rely on signs and synchronicities and angel numbers to dictate how to move forward or not, meaning being held backwards. Let me share a little story with you, and I apologize if it's a little bit triggering. So let me just take a sip of coffee so that you can prepare, and so can I. Okay, so this is going back to 2018. I was newly single. I was trying to navigate the dating world. I was sparked by somebody who was helping me change my life. A really great person, okay? Nothing but unconditional love, but unfortunately just did not have the capacity to give to me. And I really struggled with this. I wanted it so badly. I was overgiving, I was overdoing, I was problem solving, trying to be everything to this person and everyone for that matter. You know, I was chasing it. I fully admit that. And I used to sit in my garage with my best friend. She happened to be my next door neighbor. Super lucky that we were able to share so many memories with each other, especially in my garage. This is where we'd have coffee and drinks and chat for hours on end. And one night I was telling her about all the signs and synchronicities that I was seeing. And she said to me, "Kel, is this car in the garage?" And she looked over at the space in my garage. And I said, "No." "Kel, is this car in your driveway?" No. Despite all the signs and synchronicities that I was getting, it didn't mean that this person was with me in real time. Now, energetically, yes, I felt them. Energetically, they felt unlike anything I'd ever felt before. But what was that really? Honestly, it was my soul trying to wake me up. And more than likely, it's the same for you too. Recently, someone asked me a very profound question. Has anyone ever manifested a specific person based on angel numbers? Now, I'm coming back full circle here. I don't think the answer is yes. I think that when we put the energy into a specific person and associating them with angel numbers, we're taking the energy away from ourselves and our growth and our evolution. Now, again, if we're going to look at angel numbers as a general sign, of where we're at, then I think that's an amazing tool because naturally, 1111 is a brand new beginning. This is how the spiritual reawakening really starts. You start seeing ones, 1, 11, 111, 1111. It symbolizes a brand new beginning. It's a spiritual gateway. It's a portal to something new. That's why we associate it with twin flames, because usually it's a twin flame connection that actually sparks us into a whole new way of life. That's why it's a new beginning. Now, 222, we're building something new. That's master builder. 333, ascended masters, master teacher. We're learning lessons. 444, angels are with you. 555, you may be having a major tower moment, and that's okay because it means big changes ahead. Sixes are equal giving and receiving and balance, and so on and so forth. So if we're looking at angel numbers as a general rule, use them for your growth. Use them to see whether or not you're on the right track. But if you're taking angel numbers and you're attributing them to a specific person, you might actually be pulling yourself backwards more than you realize. So I invite you to think about the angel numbers that you're seeing. Please let me know in the comments, what numbers are you seeing and what do you think they mean to you? Are you associating them with a specific person? Or do you think that they're guiding you in a new direction? Are they testing you? Are you in the old? Are you in the new? I think it's really important to ask yourself, is the energy being focused on yourself, or are you putting all the energy into another person or another situation? So I still see signs and synchronicities to this day from many, many years ago, and I don't think that that will really ever change. I think that those signs, those synchronicities, those angel numbers, whatever you want to call them, they basically remind me of where I've been. And so I look at it as I've grown so much. I've changed. I'm doing things right now that I never thought possible. And therefore, I'm thankful. When I get these signs and synchronicities, it really is a signal to me that I'm doing something right and that I'm moving myself forward. Because the more intense those signs get, it's really testing my strength and my courage to move forward. So I do look at them as a positive sign of my growth, my evolution, and my change. So thank you so much for listening to this video. I really appreciate your feedback. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really means the world to me. If you have any topics you'd like me to talk about in my next Kelly Talk videos, please let me know in the comments. Thank you everybody, and I look forward to seeing you next time.